All right, here we got ourselves the Marvel Legends series Electro from Spider-Man No Way Home. Originally, I didn't plan on picking this guy up because he was rather expensive, but I did find him on sale on Amazon for about 35 bucks Canadian, which is pretty good because I think he goes for around like 35 bucks American normally. So I figured on sale, what the heck, I'll pick him up. This is a deluxe edition figure, technically, I believe. As for what makes it a deluxe, I guess it's just all these lightning effects you can see within the window packaging here. Because other than that, in terms of accessories, all he comes with is one extra pair of hands, it looks like. But yeah, we get a pretty nice in-box window packaging here. Much nicer than the kind of closed off boxes that like Doc Ock and Green Goblin came in. I much prefer this. It's much more appealing to see on the shelf. Before we just spin the box around though, it is kind of interesting that they call him Marvel's Electro, right? He's not just Electro, he's Marvel's Electro as opposed to, Sony's Electro. I guess, famously they changed up his outfit and costume in No Way Home to be a little bit more accurate to the source material in the comics, particularly with the kind of electricity flying off of his face. It looks like the classic star-shaped mask that Electro wore. And gone is all, the goofy neon blue stuff that happened in, Amazing Spider-Man 2, which we'll just not talk about. But yeah, so this is Marvel's Electro. There's a nice look of him on the back here. There's that mask effect going on. There's a whole write-up you can read in various different languages if you like. Get a larger artwork on the side. Spider-Man logo on the top. It's legal stuff on the bottom. Yeah, let's take this guy out and see how he looks. Okay, here is Jamie Foxx himself as Electro, and with everything he comes with. You get two big yellow lightning effects. It looks like they can just wrap around his arms or his legs or what have you. You get two open hands and two fisted hands. So let's take a look at him here. There's a closer look up at the face sculpt. Now, this piece on his face is not removable, as many have pointed out, but I don't think you really need it to be removable. I think whether you're displaying this guy or playing with him, I mean, this is the more exciting kind of look for him that's going to have more presence on your shelf. I guess it would be cool to have just a straight up Jamie Foxx head sculpt. Like, yeah, it might have been nice had we got two head sculpts, because if you look at it, like, yeah, that is Jamie Foxx under there. So they did get the likeness to him. It is a little odd that, you get such a prolific actor and not give us just a standard head sculpt of what he looks like. But that being said, yeah, this is probably the look that I would more often have on my shelf anyway, so I'm not too mad about it. It just would have been nice to have a clean Jamie Foxx head in here as well, especially considering this is a deluxe figure. But it looks good. It's kind of like a translucent type of plastic, the same as the electricity effects. Moving down the body here. The paint application is actually pretty nice on all his straps. The yellow and the silvers, there's no smudging between them. Everything's painted on pretty nicely and all these little bits. I believe, though, I don't know if this is supposed to be like the arc reactor that he stole from like the Tony Stark technology. If it is, I don't know. It looks like this is just like a buckle, but it would have been cool to have the arc reactor here. Also, I don't know, and none of these is painted on the back. These straps are unpainted, but that's okay. You got the yellow straps going down his arms. He's got the straps down the legs. Da, da, da. His head, you can actually look pretty much all the way up. It's got this, yeah, really big neck swivel right there. He can't really look all the way down though. It's kind of limited by his mask, but you can get a full 360. You can get him, you know, the fact that you can look up, you could almost have him like flying towards you, you know, like looking like that in the air, like doing a full Superman thing. That's kind of neat. As for articulation, he isn't that limited by all the tubes and everything going down his arms. You know, his arms can go back. They can twist a bit, but some of the way it's connected to his forearms is going to limit a bit of how much you can twist it around. But, you know, double jointed elbows, they go up pretty well. Not much crunch at all. You can lean back a little bit, but yeah, I can't crunch forward very well. It's because of all this stuff glued onto his stomach there. It does have a, you know, 360 waist. Let's see, thighs can almost do the splits. Again, it's limited by the yellow wiring. He's got thigh cuts, which you will not want to do 360 as to break that stuff again. Oh, I think just single jointed knees. Yeah, pinless though. Everything's pinless, which is nice with Marvel Legends. Yeah, and then the ankle joints, you get a little bit of motion there, just enough to kind of find a way for him to stand. All right, we got Electro shooting some electricity, zapping out of his fingers. Yeah, these pieces, they're relatively easy to put on because let me just find it. Yeah, they each have one part. Maybe kind of, so you can see here that like pinches on. So those are like designed to go around his wrists, so you can do things like this, have him zapping out electricity. They're a little bit easier though to actually take the hands out and then like wrap it around the wrist and then plug the hands in. Just because it's hard, you kind of have to kind of squeeze his hand through the opening to get to it. But once you get it on, it looks pretty good. Something I just realized too, which I didn't catch while I was doing the articulation, is that all these bits of wiring, they actually plug in and out of his arms. So I don't know, it's weird. They don't really stay in very well, but they come out, I guess, to help with the articulation, like so you can turn it around. But then here, like if I want to plug that back in, it doesn't really stay in. It just kind of comes right back out. Same thing on his legs here. You can see there's little slots for these to plug in, and you know, they kind of stay, not really. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess you get the pose you want and then you plug them back in is kind of the idea. But yeah, you don't have to put the lightning effects just on his wrist. Like, really, you can find any opening in them and just kind of hang them off his body or his arms to make it look like the electricity is flying off of him. And it makes for a pretty cool effect. Overall, this is a pretty cool figure. Yeah, some of the articulation is limited by the yellow you know, wires around him. But you can get him in some pretty cool poses. I think it would have been cool had they included a flight stand with him too, because he does fly in the movie and, you know, often levitates himself off of the ground with the electricity, and it would have been cool to get that kind of an effect. But if you have some spare flight stands from, you know, other figures, you could probably achieve that. Overall, I think Electro is a pretty good figure that has a lot of presence on the shelf. You know, the electric effects are a little finicky to get on him in exactly the way that you want. The little wrist wrap things don't really work that well. They're a little small to actually wrap around his wrists. And I think, honestly, you're just better off just trying to thread his arms through whatever openings you can to get, you know, the best effect that you can achieve. Yeah, I like him, though. I think he is probably overpriced for what he is. At MSRP, you know, as I said again, I got him on sale, and on sale I think it's a good deal, but For the full price of a deluxe figure, I think he could have came with maybe like a flight stand, maybe some other effects, maybe a second Jamie Foxx head sculpt, a clean one, and maybe give him like the arc reactor too. I don't know why he doesn't have the arc reactor on this figure, unless that silver thing in the middle there is supposed to be that, but that's not. I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, good costume design. He's going to fit in with the rest of your live-action Spider-Man collection pretty well. If you are collecting them, he is kind of a must-have. But yeah, overall, that'll do it for my thoughts on Electro here. Catch you on the next one.